Thank you very much. The chair now recognizes Mr. Ezell for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for all for being here today and providing us with this good testimony and information. I see every day how closely our economy, our national security, and our way of life are tied to the water. Energy production, shipbuilding, ports, fisheries, and military readiness are all critical to our region. They depend on reliable access to essential resources. That's why I introduced the Unleash America's Offshore Critical Minerals and Resource Act to support and expand domestic seabed and mineral development. This bill strengthens Americans' economic and national security by accelerating the responsible development of critical mineral resources found on the ocean floor. These minerals are essential for advanced technologies, renewable energy infrastructure, and defense systems. Yet the United States remains dangerously reliant on foreign supply chains to meet this growing demand. On the Gulf Coast, we understand that responsible offshore development and environmental stewardship are not mutually exclusive. We've seen firsthand that with clear rules, science-based decision-making, and strong oversight, offshore activity can support jobs, strengthen the supply chains, and protect our coastal resources at the same time. Mr. Gunasakru, the administration has estimated that a domestic seabed mining industry is projected to create 100,000 American jobs in shipbuilding, robotics, manufacturing, and mineral processing. How can a stable regulatory framework ensure that these industrial jobs are secured within the U.S. coastal economies?
Thank you for the question. I think having a stable framework really allows for industrial and industry partners to invest. What we need to see is this is a brand new industry, a bit like offshore oil and gas in the 1970s. That didn't really exist, but now it's a huge industry with a huge number of jobs and GDP. And what we need to see is support from the administration, from Congress, to make it very clear what are the timeframes and what's the certainty. And that will then allow industry to invest, and that will unlock a lot of jobs. And as you mentioned, shipbuilding, processing, robotics, support infrastructures, marine science, all of this will grow rapidly as this industry matures.
Thank you very much. Mr. Barron and Mr. Gunasakru, what role does regulatory certainty play in ensuring these resources are developed safely and sustainability?
Well, regulatory certainty is critical, and we've invested almost $1 billion without that regulatory certainty, but there aren't many companies as ambitious or bold as us, perhaps. But to move into commercial production, it's just sensible that we need regulatory certainty, and of course, America has that. America was able to put in a regulatory environment back in 1980, and so the international comparison is this group down in Jamaica who, since 1994, have failed to achieve that, the one task they were set. So, cheers to America.
And I would just add that America is just great at innovation. Yeah. I see people concerned about the environmental concerns, but innovation is how we solve our problems. And having regulatory certainty will just drive more innovation, more investment, more jobs.
Thank you. What policy changes do you recommend to open access to these mineral resources?
I think having clarity on timelines, understanding precisely all of the steps that we need to go through from exploration to commercial recovery, and being crystal clear exactly what is the timeframes for that. In addition, I'd like to see codifying of the executive order to make sure that there is certainty to our investors that no matter what new administration happens, that this work will continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.